Uh-oh. What's up, everybody? Terry got it looking crazy as far as the vertical is concerned. Hold on one second. Don't worry about it. We're going to get that fixed here quickly. But shout out to everybody out in YouTube streets and everywhere else. What's going on with you?
Man,
Coach?
Professor T wearing the Purnell Sweet Pea Whitaker shirt. I love it. And we got the Twitter going on. We got the TikTok going on. We still got to figure out how to get the Instagram going on. We got to get that somehow, somewhere.
Instagram.
Oh, it should be? Okay, my bad. I'll check on it. And then for all of you guys who are following us on YouTube and have subscribed and have liked, we appreciate you. What was it? 1,500 people were watching us last week. That was crazy. I don't know what happened, man. India, New Zealand, Australia.
It was amazing.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because of UFC. I have no idea.
Hey, man, and to be honest, looking at the stats and stuff, that's exactly what it has been, man. It's been UFC. When I did the UFC watch party, man, it was crazy.
Well, when you did the Manny Pacquiao watch party, that was crazy.
That was wild too. No, I agree. We're doing a little bit too much talking without somebody else that should be in this room with us. So, you guys you've seen Nibbles before, right? That should be something that chain reaction. You just heard the laugh. You have to know who I'm one of my most dear friends, training partners, most gentle giants, but will absolutely drop kick you in the face before you can even blink. My guy, man, let's give him a warm, beautiful welcome. Welcome back to the show, man, Mr. Nabiel Rabadi.
You are correct. I'm a gentle giant. I just got done writing poetry. I just did some vigilantism. But moreover, excited to be back, man. I always love joining the show. I've been hit up a few times, and for whatever reason, I'm always out of the country or not in the state, and I apologize profusely. I am so excited to be back and being on this podcast, man. It was a wonderful experience last time. I'm excited for this one, especially being here with Coach Angelo and you. Yeah, man, let's do this. I got the hookah ready, so I'm ready to hurt someone.
Well, we appreciate you, sir. We appreciate you. Shout out to the chat room already. One of my brothers, Professor T, I want to introduce you to him. CJ Rich, he's a Raider fan. And CJ is one of the most intelligent boxing, knowledgeable young men that you can talk to about boxing. He absolutely loves it. He's a great young man. I see him on all the boxing shows when I'm on it. One of these days, we'll have to get him on our show. But CJ's a great kid, and shout out to you, brother. Thank you for joining us for a bit.
Man, I don't know why his comment didn't pop up, man. I would have put
it's on this one, the horizontal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's on the horizontal YouTube. So we got it on all platforms, y'all. We got it on horizontal, vertical, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. It's everywhere. We actually, Mr. Rabadi, we had 1,500 people watching us last week, so it was pretty fun. That was crazy.
We're worldwide.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I was telling Professor T, I have no idea what happened.
You guys are now international men of mystery. That's what's going on. Okay, we got to start doing this with some tuxedos on.
Yeah,
we got to be very worldly. We need a PR team, HR department. I can speak Arabic, so I can help you guys out there.
That will help.
That will help. I got you guys, man. That's impressive, man. That's beautiful. Yes, and I'm hoping I can help this channel grow today a little bit more.
You kidding me, man? Just your presence alone, you're helping us grow, brother.
There's a $1 million smile I got going on. So
dude, you and I mean, we had a short exchange, and obviously Angelo's got us being, he's got things going in the right direction. But I just want y'all to understand, you are about to get an absolute treat in terms of us discussing this boring, hug, snooze, fest, if you will, because
I didn't think it was boring.
Well,
I didn't think it was boring. I first of all,
right, Nibble, especially us, like it was embarrassing. It was
rough.
Okay. No, you know what it is. You know what it is. I appreciate dominance when I see it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I appreciate dominance when I see it, and the other thing too is, it's easy to be Conor McGregor and tap out when there's not even a lock on you. Right? Yeah. I'm talking about when Nate Diaz had him, quote, didn't really have him, and he just tapped out because he was exhausted. Versus Dricus du Plessis, he fought to the bitter end, man. That's what a champion should be looked upon.
Sorry.
No, hold on. Hey, you got. I'm just telling you from my perspective. I understand why you're upset, and you two are the black belts. You two are the professors of jiu-jitsu. I understand where you're coming from. Believe me, you don't think, Professor T, I understand when it comes to boxing on the other side, or when I'm like, you could just finish this dude now.
Right.
I don't know what you're waiting for exactly, right?
Yes, sir.
But again, it's great to have Mr. Rabadi here because he'll explain it all to us as to why that was. And if for all you guys who are just joining us right now, we're talking about UFC 319 in Chicago, packed house, pay-per-view, which will be ending in 2026. But now, again, good card overall. I wasn't upset at the card.
No.
Beautiful spinning elbow knockouts. So from the striking coaching background alone, I absolutely loved it. I predicted that Aaron Pico will most likely get knocked out. I should have put money on that one, actually. I was really shocked that Laron Murphy was the underdog for some reason. I thought, undefeated, like I don't know why he was the underdog. But yeah, no, the entire card was great. Before we get into the meat and bones of that, though, Mr. Rabadi, because we know you're going to be talking about that, the big media wave news that hit today hit everywhere. Right. It went on TMZ. I'm surprised it didn't go on CNN yet, but it went like wildfire. I've been on different panels all day today, from the morning to the afternoon, and I was even on one, Johnny at the Hangout spot. Shout out to my man Johnny. He's doing a show live right now, and I told him I gotta always make it to the Knockout Canvas every Wednesday nights with Professor T. So I did my little talk on it, and the whole boxing community in terms of the hardcores, much like you two in the grappling jiu-jitsu combat world of it all, maybe wasn't that happy about Chimaev's performance, right? Well, you could only imagine how upset everyone in the hardcore boxing community feels about Gervonta Tank Davis fighting a circus match instead of fighting Shakur Stevenson, right?
Right.
And again, what you will find out, Professor Rabadi, is that I always bring perspective into everything. This is why me and Professor T can go back and forth on things, because when he wants to go one way, I try to bring him back the other way, just so we bring balance into the show, right? I went on these panels talking about the positive side of all of this, okay? And the positive side is, even you, Mr. Rabadi, you probably don't watch boxing on a casual mainstream sense. You probably don't know the global scale the way me and Professor T know about it, and watch the Mexico fights and the Kazakhstan fights and the UK fights. I mean, Professor T was doing a watch party for a UK fight 2 weekends ago.
I was impressed by that. I want you to know. Yes. I was like, holy shit, he's really going for it.
So, in the United States, we actually have the most champions. We own 30% of the belt. And it saddens me that someone like yourself, who's in America, does not know. I mean, you probably couldn't name 3. And it's sad because we have 21. We have 21 born and raised United States of America.
I got one. I got Usyk. He's Colorado, right?
I said Colorado.
You know what's even worse? Mr. Rabadi? In the current Ring Magazine pound for pound list, where there's 10,
right,
we have 4. The United States of America has 4 of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. And here's the one that's really going to blow your mind. And I know you're going to love this one, Turf. right? One of them is from Texas. He's actually from Texas. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys actually watched this last fight last night at the Ford Center. And in all honesty, Professor Rabadi, did anyone in Texas for regular media news talk about that amazing event?
No.
Exactly. And that's really been the problem with boxing in the U.S. It's not that we don't have the best fighters. It's not that we're not worth it. It's because outside of the U.S., and me and Professor T always talk about this, boxing is even more popular than NFL. Like how NFL is popular here, boxing is top 3 in the world. They fill out 90,000 seats in stadiums. When they do weekend club shows, it's an easy 10,000 every time. People talk about it on regular news. It's on regular talk shows. American boxers that go to the UK get treated like pop stars. Then Deontay Wilder will walk down your nearest Starbucks and you'll think he's a football player because you have no idea who he is. Right?
I'll also kind of be terrified of him a little bit.
a little bit.
Slightly.
So I say that to say again that the reason why the positive part of this is boxing is hot right now. Everybody's talking about boxing. Everybody's talking about Canelo Crawford. Everybody's talking about the fact that it's free. They just announced the undercards. The undercards are all free on YouTube. Yes. So now you don't even have to have a Netflix subscription to see the first 6 fights, which will all be amazing, right? Then you have the Netflix for $7 or $8, whatever. That's free. And then you drop this news with Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis on Netflix on November 15th in Atlanta for free.
Yeah.
For free again.
Free.
The pay-per-view model is gone. They're starting to bring it all back, right? So like the fight, hate the fight, think it's a circus. The one thing we know about Jake Paul fights is just like when he fought Jake Paul and or just like when he fought Mike Tyson last year in your home state of Texas at AT&T, the undercards were amazing. Real boxers fighting real championship fights. Yeah. The undercards for his last fight when he fought Cesar Chavez Jr. in Anaheim was amazing. Real fighters, real title fights were put together. And the same one will happen for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. The undercards will be amazing. It'll all be free. All it does is bring more eyes to American boxing, and I love every second of the promotion of it. So, but as a casual, Mr. Rabadi, what do you think of Jake Paul anyways? And what do you think of Jake Paul versus a 5'5", 135-pound man?
Riveting. So I will first, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to clarify my background for those that are watching, and just so they don't think I'm just speaking out of my ass when I talk about certain things.
Right.
There are 2 Rabadi brothers.
Yes.
I am the one that doesn't do jiu-jitsu. I'm the one that does Muay Thai.
Right.
Have been doing it for almost 20 years. I'm probably my last belt was a blue belt, but honestly, I'm somewhere around with a purple belt. Really. I understand jiu-jitsu pretty well enough.
Are you kidding me, dude? Stop. I'm being modest. Get out of here.
I've had 2 amateur Muay Thai fights. I now coach our sparring class at Team Rabadi for guys who want to compete or just want to use it for practical effect. Nevertheless, I am the sparring coach as well as assistant coach on Tuesday, Thursdays for Muay Thai.
Bingo.
Cool. Damn. What do I think? The truth is, I'm in love with the fact that, Terrence, you are showing UK boxing fights. You are streaming it. You are touting it. Boxing is making a comeback. And the truth, it's very easy to shit on the Paul brothers. I mean, they are kind of annoying people. Yeah, like whatever. But really, the big thing is they're bringing notoriety to hardworking fighters.
They are.
Not enough fighters, whether it's MMA, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it is boxing, are getting paid what they're worth. And by the time it's all said and done, you would have banged up your body and in pain in your 40s, and you didn't get paid nearly enough what you deserve.
Nothing.
A show like this is getting more notoriety to undercard fighters, is getting more notoriety to boxing where it really does deserve. and I genuinely appreciate the push that they are making. 2 major boxing fights, doesn't matter who's on there, it is major when all eyes are on it. Being streamed for free on Netflix is a wonderful thing for the casual fan. And in my opinion, I do think Jake Paul is getting better as a boxer.
Right. Let's keep it a bean.
I'm just going to be now. He fought a lot of tomato cans and just people that were over the hill. But you know what? That's boxing, actually, in a nutshell. You do. I mean, people who have their 30-0 records or 40-0 records, they just beat nobodies a lot. It's not like the UFC or an MMA where you are thrown to the wolves.
Correct.
Like Akai Asakura, who we all saw on Saturday. There's a lot of talent, but somebody that was experienced got submitted. And now he wants to go back to Japan.
And he's an easy tap, right? Wasn't he an easy tap? He's a complete fish out of water.
And so those are my thoughts towards the landscape of boxing today, and I genuinely only hope it grows. More and more athletes are veering the way towards basketball, football, baseball, etc. We don't have enough, honestly, in my opinion, not that I've seen American heavyweights as far as boxing is concerned. I think the last one is, oh my God, you just said his name, and I blanked. Going to Starbucks.
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder.
Wilder.
And I honestly can't think of another one. And the truth is, you know, I think American heavyweights are something to be, you know, God, I lost the word, but it would be nice to have him back to prominence.
I would say admired for one.
Admired, there we go.
You know, man, what I would give to actually have a real true heavyweight back in the game, it would be beneficial for the sport.
Yeah, no, and I think Professor T, we were watching it together when Turki Al-Sheikh, who's been funding WWE, he's been funding UFC, he's been funding boxing, right? He just loves combat sports in general.
True.
But he was on a live mainstream media when he was on a mic and he said, I think boxing's better when you have a Black American heavyweight, right? and I mean, he said it, right? He's saying it. He's saying it. I understand because, you know, English is a second language,
right?
But I understand what he's talking about. That because boxing is such an integral part of the American culture
100.
That we were at our best when we had Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, right? Like, you know, Mike Tyson was a thing, right? Like, so I understood where he was coming from.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, Mr. Rabadi, and you're an expert in the striking field. Did you know that right now heavyweight boxing is more deep, more talented, and more youthful than it's ever been since the 1970s?
I didn't, and I would love to see that.
Yeah.
And I was gonna actually ask Professor T because I never want to get the channel popped, but do they get mad if we show Professor Rabadi a highlight with no sound of Moses Itama, or are we gonna get popped if we show it on maybe an Instagram or a quick YouTube, or I don't know. I just don't want to ever get popped. But I would like to show Mr. Rabadi last week. While I understand in the American culture, we were watching UFC 319, and how can you not? The UFC has completely changed how America views mixed martial arts.
100.
What started as human cockfighting, remember that when we were growing up, right? This should be banned. And in fact, it was banned in all these different states. Now it's about to be fought in the White House lawn, for crying out loud. So,
Wild.
which I always say, Dana White is the greatest American promoter I've ever seen. Because how did you take a sport that people were literally from, I don't know, Phil Donahue to Jesse Raphael to all those daytime talk show hosts talking about it being human cockfighting to now becoming free, regular weekend.
You just got $7.7 billion.
$7.7 billion, right? Like, come on, man. And he did it. Like, if we even conservatively say that he did it from 1995 to 2025, that's only 30 years. It only took him 30 years to make it into a thing.
I do want to maybe break some news on top of the streaming news.
Uh-oh.
Dana White was interviewed earlier today in saying that not everything is going to be free. That some cards that are big enough are going to be on pay-per-view. That is slightly unfortunate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he did. From what I understand, the CBS deal is 43 events. Period. Right? It's 43 events. And I think when he's saying big enough, he's probably just giving a little warning to the White House one.
Let's say the White House card. Exactly. Yeah. I think he referenced possibly 4 shows is what he said.
Yeah. And you know what, man? That's a hell of a lot better than every weekend almost. It was like $1,200 last year.
Right.
For
I think it was something like $1,500. If you paid for every UFC, it's $1,500.
Yeah. So, hey, you know what? You want to do 4 of them? I'm all for it, man. Whatever.
And I would pray that they are that big. I mean, I can imagine everybody wants to be on that White House card. Is it actually supposed to be on the front lawn of the White House?
Yeah, it's on the south lawn. It's on the south lawn.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That's pretty quiet.
It's wild.
The real question there is, because there's a little bit of controversy drawing up, is will John Jones make that card?
Yeah. So the last...
I mean, are we doing the criminal background thing? Because isn't the president criminally...
Not only that, from the other thing is, I recall, I'm pretty sure I wasn't out of my mind, but I heard from Dana's mouth himself is that he couldn't trust him.
Yes, he did. He did actually.
219 press conference.
Yeah, he said that on the post-fight. He said, what do you think the percentages are? And then the reporter said, well, what do you think the percentages are? And he said 1 billion to 1.
1 billion to 1. There we go. 1 billion to 1.
But you know what, man? Dana is also the guy who said, I will never put women in the UFC. And then he made it the biggest thing in the world. So,
Yeah.
Good point. It's a good
He
point.
wouldn't cross-promote with boxing, and lo and behold, he cross-promoted with boxing with one of the biggest boxers ever.
You never know, man. You got to take what Dana says with a grain of salt.
I'm excited to get this list of heavyweight boxers. Can I just mention that I used to love HBO boxing, and when I first had HBO streaming, I would watch the old HBO boxing fight nights. I wish that would come back in some way.
It will. And actually that's going to come back also. And this is actually the reason why, Mr. Rabadi, Professor T and I created it, is we wanted to be a safe space for everyone to just get the education to know this is how you watch combat sports. This is where you watch combat sports. This is how you watch it for free. And thank goodness now we don't have to be telling everyone to go pirates like free.
Somehow I feel like people are starting to do it. They're going to find those Russian websites.
I mean, now that it's so free on YouTube, I'll give you, in fact, an example. This past Saturday, even though in the United States everybody was talking about UFC 319, for myself and Professor T and a whole global community and an entire esports gaming community because of the championships in Riyadh, there was this amazing boxing card happening in Riyadh. It was a great card. It was pay-per-view. Now, fortunately for everybody else globally, pay-per-view outside the United States is $19.99, if you can believe that, Mr. Rabadi. It's always been that way, by the way.
Yeah, that's
right. That or that's free.
That's
right. So it's always been easy for everybody else to get it. It's only in America that we have to pay $50 for whatever reason. I don't know why. I mean, Turkey's ending
$70 or $80 now.
Yeah. Well, Turkey's ending that now, but it was $49.99, right? And I say that to say that as soon as the fight was over, and I've been telling everybody this the last 2 years, Professor T knows because we got some Raider fans that are haters of boxing, and they're like, oh, man, boxing's dying. I'd never pay for it. And I always say, you don't have to. It's free. Right. I could literally send you to YouTube. It's free, right? And what's been happening is as soon as it's over, they put it onto YouTube anyways for free. So I can send you the entire card right now on 100 HD quality YouTube for free. None of it is illegal. It's coming from the actual source. So it's been like this for the last 2 years. And the only reason why you don't know is because shows like this haven't been created yet, where all we're trying to do is educate you. Hey, you missed that fight? You missed what we're calling the next Mike Tyson? You missed the 6'5", 255-pound, 20-year-old who has been knocking everyone out? No problem. Here's the YouTube.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is like it would be wonderful because to me sometimes these guys seem to just come out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, I'll just fall in line with pretending like I know him, but I have not seen a fight of insert fight Crawford, Gervonta Davis until they became prominent and big, which is like the opposite of how I watch UFC, which is like, oh, you see their rise versus for me with boxing, because I don't see shows like this,
Right.
Rather, there weren't shows like this before. I kind of don't. I don't see these guys coming up, and so yeah, it is a wonderful treat to see that this movement is growing.
Yeah, and again, we're not trying to be a yelling match show. We're not trying to be a
I'm about to scream at you right now.
You know, but we're not. You know, there's a lot of different shows where there's a lot of negative energy forming, right? And all we want to be is an informative show, and then we'll give you our takes. And believe me and Professor T, we don't always agree on things. Sometimes we do. You'll hit a night where we agree on everything, and then sometimes it just doesn't work that way. And that's okay. But
Totally fine.
yeah, which is totally fine, right? But yes, in terms of heavyweights, this kid is only 20 years old. His name is Moses Itauma or Itauma, however you want to pronounce it.
Right.
He is born in Nigeria. His dad is Nigerian. His mom is Slovakian, but he grew up in Scotland, in the UK, Scotland area,
This is the
right?
most cultural human being I've ever seen in my entire life.
And when you
Oh my
hear him
God.
speak, he sounds extremely educated. He's been
Okay.
boxing since he was 9. He didn't
He's
go to the
20
Olympics.
years old?
Yeah, he's 20 years old. He went
Wow.
straight to the pros. This kid right now is it 14 wins and 13 knockouts? I believe it's 14 wins, 13 knockouts. And the last guy he just beat was someone who is a former world champion who was ranked and had just come off of a 3-fight win streak. And he sparked this guy. Like, it wasn't even close. It is literally like watching Mike Tyson, but in a different body. A 6'5", 255-pound body.
Yeah.
So, Professor T, what do you think? Can we show it, or are we going to get busted? Sam?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, all right. Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do what I should have done probably at least a good 10, 15 minutes ago anyways. And that shout out everybody in the building, man. Shout out to Reese Rock, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. And in fact, Reese Rock had to say, Turf, my checkmate coach is Ricardo Feliciano. Pancho. Shout out to Feliciano and Pancho, man. I'm assuming that is Cali, right? I mean, we are out there in Cali every once in a while. It's quite a few gyms we frequent as far as Team Rabadi, etc. And all of our affiliates and family. So let me know where that's at, Reese. I have not trained in a while, but I am going to get back into it ASAP. I'm finally starting to get that freedom back, right? Season starting. I'm not going to all the Raider games this year. I'm going to a few, obviously, but I'm not going to all of them. So hopefully I can get myself back on track, man. But put that out here because I definitely would love to come through if I'm ever in your area, man, for sure. We got Captain Rafa in the building. What's up, fellas? Rafa in the building. That is correct, man. We got Sam Tonka in the building, man. Itama got that quick counter left hook. He's obviously talking about who you were just referring to.
I just watched it, and I definitely love this dude's style.
It's crazy, right?
100%. Super athletic.
6'5", 255, and he's only 20 years old, which means he can still get bigger. I don't know how bigger, but
he doesn't look like it, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Right.
He moves like somebody that's about 45 pounds lighter. I love the high guard, love leading behind the jab, sparking combos when you're close. A lot of the stuff that I try to teach guys in my classes, he's doing it really well. And that was a treat to just watch.
Great balance,
100%.
Great balance, great footwork, fluid, uses his hips correctly. The kid's throwing in combinations. He's not trying to kill you with every punch. He's trying to place every punch. And this is only his 14th fight, Mr. Rabadi. Okay. I mean, people forget that Mike Tyson fought 28 times in a year and 9 months before he got his first world title fight.
Right.
This kid right now just finished his 14th fight. He's already number 1 ranked in the WBO, the WBA, the IBF, and they're already talking about him fighting Alexander Usyk, who's pound for pound number 1 in the world.
Wow. I would let this kid cook before I do that. That's just my personal opinion.
No, it's good. This is the discussion. This has been the discussion. So, as a striker yourself, tell us why, in your opinion, you would let the kid cook a little bit more before he takes on Usyk.
Everybody can see the talent, right? You literally only have to watch 2 minutes of real boxing to see the talent. Experience is an untangible yet necessary thing that I can't explain to you why you need it so badly, but you need it so badly. And there's something about the different types of bullets flying at you that you just have to see to get used to. And understanding the nature of the game. That's why every rookie quarterback that plays football really doesn't have a 3,000-yard, 25 touchdown and 7 interception season, but rather they have a 1,500-yard. They went 7-11 that year and probably got hurt. Is because the game in front of them, they see everything. And seeing everything, when you're in a ring and there's people watching you, there's a different level of energy in there. It's palpable, you feel it, but also to just be able to shut everything out and to just know is a different thing in there. And it's definitely different when someone's trying to hit you. That is the most valuable thing to have is experience, because you just have to see the field. So that's where my opinion goes.
Now, what do you think, Professor T? Where do you stand in Moses Ituma's career?
I mean, I'm on both sides of the fence, to be honest, and that might sound like a cop-out. I'll prove myself.
No. I understand. Go ahead.
Because, I'm with Nibbles in terms of letting him cook, letting him, progress naturally is what I would say. And that's where I think that both sides of the fence, I'm going to play, because the honest truth is naturally he's just going to progress faster, right? Because of that skill.
I'll add a couple of things, and I'll say that he's never gone more than 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's
no. He's actually gone the distance, but it did go 6 rounds when he went the distance.
That was the distance? Okay.
So he went the distance twice. So he's 13 wins, 11 knockouts. He went the distance twice on 6-rounders. But yes, you're absolutely right. He usually sparks them all.
And not half of the people on his record have an IMDb page. That goes to show you the quality.
Now that's where you would be incorrect. Actually, that's one of the reasons why Professor T is saying he could go on the other side. The guy that he just beat is Dillian White, and if you are familiar with boxing during the time that Anthony Joshua was coming up, Dillian White has only really lost to 2 world champions.
Right.
He lost to Tyson Fury, and he lost to Anthony Joshua. The only other loss he had was when he was the world champion. He lost the belt to Alexander Povetkin, and then he rematched Alexander Povetkin, who was a good champion, and he knocked him out. So this is a real guy. This was a real challenge, right? This would be like the equivalent of Trevor Berbick when Mike Tyson fought Trevor Berbick. The difference, though, is it was the 29th fight when Mike Tyson fought Trevor Berbick. This is only this kid's 13th fight, and he already fought his version of Trevor Berbick.
That's what I'm saying.
Prior to that, he'd fought ranked heavyweights, and on his 10th fight, he beat a former champion also. So, they're not exactly giving this kid some soft touches.
They're not, but those are the only. How many of those 13 wins? Besides Dillian White, is Mike Bulgun a quality opponent? Was he?
For other than the fact that he was older, but as an American heavyweight, I would say he was pretty good. I mean, pretty decent. Like not world championship level, but definitely not less than top 25.
Sure. Okay.
So Again, this isn't like the Guadalajara Tijuana special of a cab driver. Like that's not what happened. And I understand where you're coming from. By the way, this is when I've been on the on big paneled boxing podcasts where it gets serious and you really got to know your details. Sure. Believe me, Mr. Rabadi, I'm one of the guys that have already made everybody like blow their minds when I said I kind of equate this kid right now to Mike Tyson. And they're like, oh, you can't do that, Mike. And I said, okay, you got to hear me out. Mike Tyson fought in 1 year and 9 months. I want you to think of the timeline since you fought striking, right? Yeah. In 1 year and 9 months, he fought 28 opponents. You will not know any of those 28 opponents. Some of these fights were in San Jose. He was just knocking these people out, right? So these 28 fights happened. The two that you may remember that went the distance would be Mitch Blood Green took him the distance, and I think James Quick Tillis took him the distance. And I don't even know if you would know those names. I know Professor T knows those names, right? My point being, they did give Mike Tyson soft touches all the way up to at least the 24th fight.
Sure.
This kid already went right to the thing. He was like, let's see what happens. Oh, look, I knocked him out in the first round.
Let me ask you the question then. I have two questions for you, right?
Okay.
One is something that you said earlier that I would love for you to explain to the audience. But the question that I really have for you, this is your fighter. Are you really going to ask yourself why not? Let's just do it. Or are you going to be really meticulous about how you pick these guys? How you pick his opponents. Because in my opinion, when you have a shooting star, you want that spark to last as long as possible. You want to turn into the sun and not fizzle out like a comet.
And I 100% agree with you because that is what we have gotten used to, especially when it comes to American boxing, right? Sure. American boxing in general, because it used to be funded a different way. Yeah. But let me ask you this question, and I'm going to reverse it the other way around. When it's the UFC, and they had a guy who was a kickboxer come into the league of MMA who'd never grappled before, and they threw him right into the fire, and that guy not only sparks people, becomes a world champion, he becomes a 2-weight division world champion and continues to hold the record for the quickest way of doing it, and I'm talking about Alex Pereira, for any of you guys who don't know. We could have easily said the same thing. We could have been like, you should probably let this guy cook a little bit more. When you're ready, you're ready.
That is true.
When you're ready, you're ready. And just because you think you can take him down doesn't exactly mean that you can. That's the thing about Moses Itamas. Just because you think he's too young to not be able to handle the challenge of Alexander Usyk, I don't know. Maybe he will.
So my only counter argument to this, to the Alex Pereira one, is Alex Pereira was a veteran of 40 kickboxing fights in glory. That's the top tier of top tier.
Absolutely.
Today, kickboxing, right?
Absolutely.
And then you did have a few fights. I agree with you.
And I love this. I love having Mr. Rabadi here because, see, this is fun. I'm having a great time. So, Mr. Rabadi, let me ask you in reverse. Okay. Number one, you know for a fact that boxing is one of the most complicated sports to 1,000%. Learn. Okay. So, if a kid's been doing it since he was 9 and he's been doing it for 11 years, and part of his training was already sparring world champions in his teenage years, world champions who will speak to his ability and say, Joseph Parker, Tyson Fury, all these guys say, this is the real deal. I sparred him. I know how good he is. They're already talking about him like he's Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant, not number 8. They're talking about he's already Kobe Bryant number 24. Right? Like they're saying he's the real deal. That's my first one. And my second one is you're absolutely right about Pereira. You're absolutely right. Except what was the whole thing about how do we know he's going to do well when he gets taken down? And yet, did he ever really get taken down? You know why? Really. Because his striking is so dominant, it doesn't matter. Okay? And most of Ituma's striking is so dominant, it doesn't seem to matter right now.
I think
it doesn't seem to matter.
I think the middle ground that I'm trying to find in something like this isn't that he waits until he's 31, right? He's 20. 20 is still a child. I remember my 20s. I was an idiot. Okay, as talented as I might have been already at Muay Thai, at jiu-jitsu, I couldn't find my head from my ass. Now, granted, this dude is not me. He has been training since he was 9. But to equate it back to football, how many quarterbacks have been training since they were children, done Pop Warner, done Selectly, done this and that, had personal trainers, got to the big stage after being drafted, just kind of fizzled out, right? Or maybe there's a lot of factors to that, a lot more factors to that than there is in boxing. But the point that I would try to make is, had they been drafted and sat on the bench and just learned versus been thrown out to the wolves, I think it might have been better off for some of these guys. My only thing is for somebody, and this is just coming from the outside looking in. I would just say give him 2 or 3 more years.
No. Actually, you're not even from the outside looking in, because you know what it's like to be in the ring. Right. You know what it's like to take punches. You know what it's like to take punches in a heavier weight. So now I go right back to you. If you're going to do a football analogy, I throw at you, sir, Jaden Daniels.
Hey,
he sure did pretty well. Almost made it to the Super Bowl in his rookie year.
Caleb Williams, right? The counter argument is Caleb Williams, right? So it's just like, for whatever Jaden Daniels you have, you're gonna have a Caleb Williams year, right?
Right. No, and you're right. Now,
and this all goes from just perspective, right? I don't think there is a wrong answer here. I firmly believe that if you throw him out to Deontay Wilder, he will probably spark Deontay Wilder.
Oh yeah, he'd spark Deontay Wilder. Professor T, are you picking Deontay Wilder on that fight? You're not gonna. No,
he's probably knocking Joshua out.
He's knocking Joshua out. He probably Tyson Fury's already admitted he would lose to this kid now too. Also, so no.
And there's no disagree. Like I don't disagree at all. This dude is clearly very talented. And I don't think there is a wrong philosophy here. Really, it's really
now I want to give you the board, because me and Professor T knows the board of boxing right now. What's happening. Sure. So the first thing you have to remember is that Alexander Usyk, who is 38 years old, will be 39 next year. He's already set. Yes, he's already 30. Yes, that's why he's pound for pound number 1. He's beating the hell out of everyone. He's putting belt to ass on everyone, and he's grandpa pretty much, or almost.
He's status right now.
Yeah, he's Uncle Usyk right now. He's Uncle Usyk putting belt to ass on everybody. Totally. But Usyk, who's 38, will be 39 next year, has already announced that he really would only like to do one more fight, because he could honestly retire right now as a gold medalist, as a former undisputed cruiserweight champion, as a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion, and call it a day. And it'd be hard for me and Professor T to not argue that he at least belongs in the top 12 greatest heavyweights of all time. Would you say 12, Professor T?
He's outside,
12, right?
He's outside of the top 10.
He's outside of the 10. I understand.
Not far.
Right. So with that said, you're running out of time for greatness. That's number 1, to have a chance. Okay, and you only get that. Number 2, Mike Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion ever, one single belt. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? He didn't become the undisputed champion until I think he was almost 22 years old. This kid is 20 years old right now, right? He already has a chance to have a record that will never be broken. And worst case scenario, Mr. Rabadi, he loses. Okay. He'd still have the next 2 more years to see if he can break Mike Tyson's record.
Here's the question that I have. In today's boxing, is a single loss as detrimental as it used to be?
I know.
Yeah. That's my question.
No. And I'll answer it this way. American boxing is starting to understand that now the last 2 years. But outside of the U.S., the reason why the UK fighters, the Japanese fighters, the Mexican fighters are all savages and beasts is because they have losses on their record and it didn't matter. They had losses early on their record and it didn't matter because they were growing. It's only in America where you build up a fighter like Berlanga, have him fight a bunch of taxi cab drivers, and say that he knocked them all out in the first round 15 times, and then he gets sparked by the first UK fighter that fights him. He gets destroyed by Hamza Shiraz in New York when everybody was sitting there going, oh, well, he took Canelo to distance. I'm going to tell you what happened in that Canelo fight. Canelo knocked him down. Professor T was watching it. Yeah. And then Canelo said, you know what, man, I'm looking at this kid's eyes. I feel kind of bad for him. I'm just going to carry this whole fight. I mean, what's the point? What's the point? Why am I getting this kid opposes no challenge? This is a 5'8" Mexican, 5'7", conservatively Mexican, who is fighting a 200-pound Puerto Rican American. Right. And the Mexican guy's the one going, I better take it easy on this 20, what is he, 25? He's kind of a youngster, man. Let me tell you, that's all that happened in that fight. But when he fought another kid his same age, Hamza Shiraz, moving up in weight, and I've been telling Professor T about Hamza Shiraz for 2 years. I said, this kid's the Tommy Hearns of the UK. They've been building him up like crazy. He knocked him out. He knocked him out hard. It was so embarrassing. His head bounced off the canvas several times. It was terrible, right? So again, what I say back to you, and what makes this conversation fun is, in this show we like to bring history. It's not the first time we've ever seen somebody get pushed this fast, because Leon Spinks in his 8th fight won the heavyweight title against Muhammad Ali.
Right.
That happened.
Yeah.
Right. Now, and I understand he had already fought Larry Holmes. I understand. Yeah. But to your point, sir, Muhammad Ali then comes back and beats Leon Spinks to become the world champion again, becoming the first heavyweight champion to ever won it 3 times. That is one of Muhammad Ali's claim to fame. He's the first ever world heavyweight champion to ever win the belt 3 different consecutive times. And that, sir, at the end of the day, you could say Muhammad Ali was old, but if he was so old, how come he was able to beat him again? Right. So Leon Spinks gets the credit for winning the world title for that one, right? So again, you could go either way, but if you miss a chance to fight Usyk, then the narrative of undisputed goes away. If you take your chances now and lose, you got 2 more years to try to break Mike Tyson's record. So I'm with Professor T when he says, I can go the other way. I can go the other way.
And to the point of your history telling, Muhammad Ali came back and beat Leon Spinks because of...
Yeah, okay. All right. All right.
No. You're making a great point. Honest, and here's the thing.
Very true.
I would love to see it already, like based on just the 2 minutes that I saw. I would watch it. It seems like it would be a super exciting. They're both offensively heavy focused guys. They want to take your head off. Right. Something I want to ask you, but real quickly, I want to make a point that something I love about boxing is when there's a real decisive winner in boxing. You mentioned carrying someone. You're not going to see that in MMA. If I know I'm sparking, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to embarrass the shit out of you. I appreciate that about boxing, that, hey, this dude has a career ahead of him. He has a livelihood. I'm just going to carry him through this fight. There's skill gaps are genuinely real in boxing. Not saying that it's not real in MMA,
right,
but it's genuinely real. Like, it is distinct, that you can see it, like a bar graph. And I appreciate that. Something you said earlier that I would love for you to explain. And this is just for the amateur ear, something I try to explain. You mentioned this about Itama, that he tries to place punches.
Yes.
Not trying to knock you out. Can you define
one of the hardest things to teach? One of the hardest things to teach someone.
What does it mean to place punches versus I'm going to go knock you the F out? So
no, that's very good.
Who do that in MMA are the Diaz brothers. But still difficult.
Yeah. No. So in that way, because I know that we may be talking to an audience that could use analogies of things. But let's go to football, right? Sure. You know how a quarterback can have a rocket arm? For example, John Elway kind of had this when he first came out, right? But he really needed to understand how to place it so that every receiver had a chance to catch the ball, right? We have that problem right now with our backup in Aiden O'Connell. Sometimes he doesn't quite place it the way we want it to be because the technique maybe is off or maybe he rushes it. And then we have a senior guy in Geno Smith who can place it pretty much even when he's in the worst position because he knows how to just put exactly the right amount of touch. When it comes to striking in general, and this works for kicks too, but in boxing specifically, you have to understand that the minute you have the impetus to want to hit someone, okay, it's like poker. I can tell what your hand is, whether you have pocket aces, a good hand, a hand that you think you're going to beat me. I'm speaking to Professor T because he gambles. But when someone is good at poker, you can't tell what they have. And that's when they can bluff you out because you have no idea. And now you're asking yourself, well, is this the time I take a chance? Boxing is very much the same. Because in boxing, if you already have the athleticism and you already have the weight and you already understand that you don't have to, I guess when we used to, when I was coaching people, I would tell them, there's this word that you'll always hear coaches who are more on the amateur level because they don't understand how to communicate it correctly, where they'll say, hey, I need you to hit that bag harder. That's actually incorrect. You don't want them to hit the bag harder. You may want them to move their hip faster. You may want them to slide their feet quicker. You might want them to loosen up their grip and then tighten at the last second. But you never want to say to a kid, hey, kid, I want you to hit harder. Because now the kid thinks, oh, I got to kill this bag. And that is all the tells that you're going to have. And I say that to say it's so difficult to teach that on a mass level. And you know this, Mr. Rabadi, because their fathers and their mothers and their uncles are all telling the kid,
right,
I need you to hit harder. Why aren't you hitting hard enough? Why didn't you hit this? You need to do better. And I would prefer that I just go, I used to say to parents all the time, we could do one of two things. You could learn with him and I could teach you too. And now we're all going to speak the same language. Or I need you to not be in the room when I'm trying to teach you so that I can actually get him to understand on a scientific level what I'd like for him to develop, right? And if you can get these kids to develop young enough, what you end up having in your hands are Floyd Mayweather, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, like kids who just go, I never even thought you were supposed to hit hard. I always kind of thought you're supposed to just find your targets and then throw your hands there as fast as you can. Like, what is this whole hitting hard thing? What is this an American thing? What's going on? Right? So that's the way I could best describe it for people. And again, when you guys watch Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather, go ahead and watch his early fights. Go and watch him in the amateurs. At that tiny little body, man, he was making people scared of him because he hit so hard.
Monster.
He was a monster. And he wasn't trying to hit you hard. He was actually just trying to put his punches there. He was trying to place it. That's all he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to hit you hard. So when you have a 6'5", 255 guy doing that, all right.
It's impressive.
It really, anytime I sparred, I never tried to spar to hurt people. But it only took the gorilla showing his teeth once to really get you out of rhythm. And that's genuinely sometimes all it takes for you to find your rhythm and take them out of their rhythm. And I love that explanation. Thank you for explaining that.
Yes. Oh, of course. No, it was a Professor T knows prior to the transplant. This was daily routine for me. Yeah. So you know, I love it when actual other teachers and other professors want to learn this. One of the things that I found going into combat sports on a professional level, when I was speaking with Professor T about this, is I learned from a martial arts background in where your goal to get to a black belt is to turn yourself into a white belt again and just learn more, right? Because that's all it really is you just want to learn more. I go into professional fight sports and I start seeing the craziness of, oh, that fighter betrayed me if he leaves me. And I was like, I don't understand this. Like I literally equated it like this, Mr. Rabadi, where I said, when you're in junior high, I don't think your 8th grade teacher got mad that you went to high school to learn from high school teachers. Okay. And when you're in high school, or let's say you're playing professional or sports in high school, your high school football coach did not get mad at you when you went to college to learn from your college coach. And your college coach, and Professor T knows this because he did it, they didn't get mad at you if you had a chance to make the pros. In fact, they would have loved it so that they can say they helped you along the way. Only in combat sports, when I went on in professionals, that I find it the weirdest thing where there was this, you're with team whatever, and you can't, like, no, go ahead and learn. And if they can offer you more than what we can, we're glad we help you in the journey. And I hope that you can come back. I hope you can come back and share some of that knowledge with us, right? And here's my flip side when I've done seminars with teachers about this, or when I've talked to other professors about it, I will sit there and I'll look them all in the eyes and say, shame on you if you're teaching and you're not trying to get better every day. That's on you, all right? That's not on the kid. Your goal as a teacher is to get better. That's you. So you need to go watch more. You need to go watch more film on what's going on with boxing. You need to go watch more film on what's going on in the current state of Muay Thai. You need to go watch more film on what's going on in the current state of MMA. And if you're not doing that, then how are you teaching it? You're teaching something old. This is the same as tech. In the tech world, Professor T, how fast do things go? Right? Exactly. So
real quick, I got to jump in on that. Because
yes, sir. Go ahead.
That's what I love about Robbie. I mean, that's one of the big things that I saw Robbie do. Where initially he was a little more standoffish, and I think you would agree with me 100%, right, Nibs? I mean, so obvious, man, and I give that brother so much credit for that, man. He deserves everything he's gotten from this point, and moving forward, man, because he's learned to evolve. He's continued to allow the school to grow. We have literally the best jiu-jitsu practitioners on the planet.
Just coming swinging by.
That just comes through.
Yeah.
It's the first time, and I'm going to give you credit on something here in a second, but the first time I stepped into the gym and I saw Shanji Hibera was there and he wanted to roll with me, it was like the most mind-blowing experience. First off, he just held me in position and I couldn't do shit. He was incredible. But the fact that he just came in was like, yeah, sure, let's go train. Or Steve Hargett. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And something I'll give you credit for, and to piggyback off of you, Coach Angelo, is in martial arts, in boxing, and in anything in life, once you think you've mastered something, you are A, wrong, and B, should quit. Because that's not the mindset to have. The first thing, Terrence, you said was, I haven't trained in a year, I got to get back on the mat. Terrence is a black belt.
Yes.
One of my brother's first black belts. And is still wanting to go back and train to learn. It is a never-ending mountain to climb with just check marks. That's all it is. There's just a checkpoint. That's all any of it is. But the moment you think that checkpoint is the top of the mountain and you're sitting pretty on Mount Everest,
so
you should get the fuck off.
That's
this is for you.
Exactly right.
And Mr. Rabadi, this is what happens to world champions sometimes, no matter what the sport is. They get to that checkpoint and somehow believe that the very next fight that they have or the next season that they have is going to be the same. How is it going to be the same? If you climb any mountain and you get to the top, on your way back down, when you want to do it again, everything will be different. The weather, 1000%. The terrain, right?
1000%.
It'll all be different. So 1000%. What makes you think that just because you're the champion, right? Dricus du Plessis, look what he did. Jeez. Beat Israel Adesanya, beat Sean Strickland. He beat the hell out of everybody. He was putting belt to ass to everyone. Yes. And then, boom! Right now, and this is the honest truth because I couldn't be on the show when I was doing this, but my wife, who is a little bit of an expert on this stuff too, as she's watching it, she says, "I don't understand why his coach didn't just work on like the break glass in case of emergency technique." I don't know if you have this in your playbook, but at some point, if everything's going wrong, there's always worst case scenario here is we're going to lose. So let's go to the break class in case of emergency move now. Because, we're going to lose anyways.
Whatever happens.
Whatever happens, right? And you saw what happened when Chimaev would get struck. So had Dricus, instead of trying to set up punches, just said to himself, the minute he's in range, I'm going to throw as many strikes as I can. And if I get taken down, I was going to get taken down anyways. I'll worry about it when I get taken down. Right? Now, he's not going to get a second chance. If I was Chimaev, I'd be like, no, take me to the next guy. I don't want him to get a chance to learn me now that he's been in the octagon for 25 minutes. And
work on.
Exactly.
And is to stand up, getting back up as far as and not getting taken down to begin with.
Right.
And how to get from, you know what I'm saying, on the
and I want you guys to really break this down, because his coach just recently was on the Ariel Helwani show talking about how he really wants the rematch badly and the second time's going to be different. What? Oh, we know it could be. That's exactly why Chimaev was not going to give it to you. Because why would he? Right. Chimaev right now could move all the way, could go ahead and win a couple more times against different people, right? And we're talking about if, let's say, I was managing Chimaev, I'd be like, yeah, let's beat this French guy and let's beat this other dude and let's move up and fight Pereira. Because what's our worst case scenario? Right. Worst case scenario, Pereira beats us. Okay, we tried to move up. Our first L happened to be against the 205 champ. Yep. Best case scenario, we're the first ones to take Pereira down and treat him like a baby? Are you kidding me? That's legacy now. Now everybody's going to say, is Chimaev better than Khabib? Because Khabib never did this. He never went up 2 weight classes.
Well, Khabib's talent, I don't know. Maybe this, because I've kind of, right? We all know Turf has had to venture off into the gymnastics world and the track world. So I've left the UFC and grappling, and it's been a while. But this Plessis kid, that was embarrassing to me. Like, he literally had no idea how to get out of some of the most basic ground techniques that you teach. Like in your first 6 months to a year in jiu-jitsu, like you don't even get out of the room. Nibbles knows what I'm talking about. You don't get in the room until you can figure this out.
You discredit yourself too much. You may have left it, but it doesn't leave you. So let's start from there, brother. All right. So you still know what you're talking about.
Right.
That being said, in my opinion, the disappointment's on both parties.
Yes.
Yes. And I'll explain to you here in a second. And based on his corner, based on Hamzat's corner, they were just telling him to take him down and hold position. Now, in my opinion, he had, and I'm looking at it right now, 529 total strikes out of 567. Okay? 37 was significant strikes.
Right.
Which tells me this, that you were not trying to finish this fight.
At all.
You were not trying to do anything to make sure this fight. And I'm sorry, I agree with Luke Thomas in the sense of this is on Hamzat a little bit because you were doing nothing to try to finish it. You never threatened with a submission. You never threatened with any real significant punches. Crucifix, the difference between that crucifix and Matt Hughes' crucifix 15 years ago against BJ Penn is that Matt Hughes was blasting BJ Penn's face.
Banging his head.
All right? He was bouncing his head like a basketball.
Yeah.
Hamzat wasn't. And to me, that is a clear issue. People have a problem with the fact that the referee stood them up, but the truth is, it's clear in black and white in the rule book that you could be in as dominant of a position as possible. You could have full mount. Yep. But if you're not advancing to win the fight,
correct,
you are going to get stood up because
correct.
You cannot stall. It is an offensive sport at the end of the day. And all Hamzat was doing was chest to chest, knees on the ground. And I'm sorry, you can't do anything.
Rapid punches. Dude, go ahead, finish.
No. And I'm sorry, but there is no punch in the world that is going to be significant when you are chest to chest with somebody on the ground and your knees are on the ground as well. It just doesn't happen.
Correct.
And he was just accepting the position that he was given. It might have been his game plan.
Dude.
And what's disappointing to me is Hamzat is so much more talented than this.
Slight years. And I don't understand why he didn't showcase that. It doesn't make any sense.
The submission attempt that was recorded was for Dricus.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
The man had less than a minute of control, and to me, that is a problem. I don't agree with people that are praising this fight. I think you are in the wrong to say, well, if you don't like it, you shouldn't watch.
And you know what? There's a lot of you that are and by the way, that's your right, because someone like you, Professor T, you've been on that mat and with some of the very best too. And actually, you were on that mat with some kids who just won the UFC Jiu-Jitsu BJJ belt, right?
Out to the Tackets.
the Tackets, right? So,
Monsters.
but yeah, in your opinion, Professor T, in your opinion, when you were watching it, right? If you were just coaching DDP, what were you going to say to him? What were you going to say?
Oh my God, I would have lost my mind first and foremost. Just in terms of him not having any idea of how to get out. The Nibs will know what I'm talking about. This man, the whole fight, would get put, you know what I'm saying, on bottom, and he would play lazy man jiu-jitsu that
in an open guard too.
Crossing your leg over your knee, just inviting somebody to mount you, and again, I felt like that was all he practiced. And Chimaev knew it. He's like, I'm not mounting you. All you know is trap and roll. That's the only thing you learned all camp.
Yes.
Like, the only way you can reverse this is by me going to mount.
Do the opposite. The fundamental problem with that question is there is nothing you could have said to him because he doesn't have the requisite skill set.
No.
It's like telling a boxer to set up his cross when he has no clue how to throw a jab.
He's never even never.
And that is the fundamental issue with the question you just asked.
Yes,
I've never seen anybody at that level so lost in the game of transitioning because. So when you watch Khamzat, his toughest two fights were against Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, two guys that relatively to his size, yes, but smaller than him. But they understood the game of transitioning very well. And Dricus does not. He had no idea where he was.
No.
He went for a gator roll at one point in time, which I would have lost my mind as his coach. I would have just lost it. And I try not to be the kind of coach that like raises his voice or gets amped, but that would have gotten me.
It would have been impossible.
I would have exploded. I would have genuinely exploded in that corner.
You would have lost your mind.
I would have lost my mind. And I am of the philosophy, and right or wrong, it's just my philosophy. But when you train for a fight, when you train for a competition, you train for that competition like you're losing every minute of every round. You should be terrified of your opponent and what they could do to you, how they could embarrass you in front of your family, how you could lose your money, your position. Everything you worked for does go away like this from a loss. It might not be as frowned upon as it used to be back in the day, but it's still frowned upon in the sense of, well, you're just not Superman anymore. You're not this amazing creature. And that's why I think the way he trained was incorrect. He was headstrong for it. He's tough. I do love Dricus, and I thought he had the ability to win this, but I don't think he trained the right way, nor did his coaches corner him properly.
They didn't set him
so there's two parts to this, and one of it's going to be a question, but this is kind of what I've always said when I went into the UFC and into the MMA world, where I found it to be interesting coming from the boxing world and the professional boxing side and the Olympic side of training people, right? Where I felt like not everyone was trying to be complete at their whole game because it was so difficult to do it. So what they would do is they would have parts of their game, which was amazing, and they were okay with other parts of their game that was completely lacking. So it was almost like their offense was their defense, right? Yeah. And this is why I asked this. If you had, if you were in the management of DDP and you knew you were going to fight Khamzat, which team would you have asked them to go learn from? AKA
give me
Jackson Wing.
Give me Craig Jones.
Yes.
Craig Jones, jiu-jitsu, right?
It would have been jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Or
Craig Jones unlocked Volkanovski's wrestling in submission defense. I mean, he is incredible at it.
He's primo.
And he understands it, and that's who I would have went to. That's the first guy I would have called. I wouldn't have went to as many wrestling coaches because, listen, I mean, Drickus couldn't even sprawl, but that's like the least of my worries.
Bro, it was embarrassing.
It's really like going into a fight with Conor McGregor and understanding that his left hand, his rear hand, is going to be better than mine. So what do I need to do to combat this? And it certainly wouldn't have been to get my right hand stronger. It would have been, how do I go after his legs? Not to be so punctual on the fact that he broke his leg, but how do I go after his legs? How do I wear him out? How do I just place my punches against him, what the Diaz brothers did? Yep. Same thing here. I wouldn't have gone for, well, let me just do what I do, work really hard in camp. I would have tried to learn transition jiu-jitsu. But for him, he's never fought anybody like Khamzat. Look at his fights before the UFC and in the UFC. There's never been a pure wrestler to that level that he's fought that could have maybe mentally made him understand the scope of the asteroid coming at you, right? Like, it looks really small from a distance, but when it's up close, it is terrifying. And
in your experience, then, especially being there at Team Rabadi in Texas, in your experience, do you feel that that's mostly because of ego? That they can't say to themselves, you know, fighting one of the biggest fights of my life, main event. Let's break down all my weaknesses, right? Like me and Professor T talk about the Raiders and their weaknesses in the O-line, and yet for some reason they don't want to draft O-line in the first round. I don't know why. But
I think all three of us can agree that.
Yeah, I think sometimes it is a lot of ignorance because the bottom line is it's impossible for me to believe that camp knew that he should have been. If your camp was 3 months, 2 of those 3 months should have been nothing but jiu-jitsu. And on bottom, the whole 2 months. On bottom, the whole 2 months, how are you getting out of side control? How are you getting out of mount? How are you getting out of back control? That would have been the first 2 months. I wouldn't have put a glove on your hand to save my life. There would have been no striking whatsoever because you were clearly dominant in that. The little flash we got, it didn't matter because it was super obvious that there was no place for him in that situation. And that's why he didn't never allow it. I mean, he would have never struck a single, he wouldn't have even struck a single pad or a bag for 2 out of those 3 months.
To the point that I made earlier, right? You may leave the fight game doesn't leave you. Drickus is a world champion in Muay Thai. He knows
how to strike.
He knows it. He knows it. It's innately second nature to him. And even for myself, I've not done Muay Thai for a year, and I've come back and it's fine. It's really like riding a bicycle again.
Yes, it's superpower.
And the truth is, he should have known. And to your question earlier, it is ego. The three of us, we love our martial art. We love the sport that we participate in, but we're not fighters.
Right.
To be a fighter, you have to be a special type of insecure, crazy, and egotistical. You are the hero in your own story all the time. You are main character syndrome. You are a different level of crazy that really people just don't understand, and it's hard to understand unless you're around it because we just see them on TV presented after the training camp. But the truth is, there is that level of ego to every professional fighter that they won't accept that they're losing. He accepted this fight. He could have said no.
Well, let me also add to this that do you believe that it's also coaches' egos? And that's what I was kind of talking about a half hour ago, where if you're a coach and you're not okay with saying to yourself,
right,
boy, this Khamzat guy, he's a load. And I don't know if I got the tools to teach my guy how to handle this load. So let me call some of my friends up, or let me call some people and make some friends, you know what I mean, on the other side and see if they might know.
I think the big problem with some of these coaches, take for example, Sean O'Malley's coach, Connor's coach.
Yeah.
They so badly don't want to lose those guys.
Correct.
But do you really lose a fighter? Right? You know what I'm
all the
saying?
time.
Like, do you really lose them? Because if they're gonna leave, they're gonna leave. Right? Like,
right,
whether
but when
you
it's
treat them great or
when
poorly,
it's your golden ticket, you know,
When it's
it's hard. It's hard for fight coaches to want to let that go because you are invested in this person so much financially, unfortunately, that you will tell them what they want to hear and not what they don't want to hear. At some point in time, those roles in a weird way mentally reverse, where the coach is now placating to the fighter when it should never be the other way around. If Customato was still alive,
oh man,
I guarantee you Tyson would not have flipped the way he flipped in so many of those fights, right? If Cus was still alive.
mentally things might have been different. I'll give you that one, but that's a different discussion. But what I will say is,
I don't mean that's an example, right?
No, I understand the analogy, but what I will say is that when I've done the seminars, Professor T, with coaches, right? Like, just, hey, this is. I spend less time explaining technique and more about the philosophy of how you need to be as a coach. Because like you said, a lot of times it's when you're a coach and you're so used to being in charge, you forget that you're in service of the fighters. Right. You're not in charge, actually. They're in charge. They're the ones that are putting their blood and their head and their trauma, and they're the ones that are going to be dealing with the torn retinas and the messed up backs and the messed up knees. And if you're a coach and you did fight, you had your time. So that's why you're coaching now. So you need to remember, and this is one of my speeches, Mr. Rabadi, when I do the seminars. But I say that, you have to remember what it was like for you when you were first coming up as a fighter then.
Yeah.
Because when you were first coming up, you were hungry. Well, now you're a coach. Just because you have that one kid who's a national champion, go make 10 more. Right. Just because you got that one champion, go teach some more. Just go teach some more for the sheer experience of teaching. Just so that you could get different feel, different people, learn to communicate better. Because you get to your point, Mr. Rabadi, you get so locked in to your one person, right?
Oh, I agree.
That I understand, I get it, right? And MMA and MMA, I found this where I was like, that's interesting. It's okay for everyone to learn as a group, but it's not okay for the student to go to other schools. That doesn't make sense, right? No, I mean, if you're giving me private lessons all the time, I could almost understand that. Maybe even still, I don't understand that, because that would be like if I went to college and all I learned was biology, right? Like, don't I need to go to English class? And don't I need to go? I'm speaking on the fact of MMA in general, right? You have to at least know, like Professor T saying. Do you want to know how to learn how to defend when you're on the ground getting smoked? Oh, I need you to go to this guy, not me. Don't ask me a question about it. I need you to go to him.
You gotta have you gotta have you gotta have a judo guy, right? You gotta have a Tony Abrante. Shout out to Tone. You gotta have a guy that's a stand-up guy that's tossing you all over the mats.
For sure.
Right. Make you get back up, right? Like the movies, right? Toss you. Nope, I'm not getting on the ground.
I don't disagree with what you said. I think where I'm a little bit different is it is up to his coach to have guided him properly.
Yes.
Through the training, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where I mean it, like, to some degree, you need to control the narrative of what's happening.
Right.
And sometimes for some of these coaches, I think it's scary for them to do it because they're not an AKA with Javier Mendez or a Jackson Wink, where they have this plethora of fighters. And if you listen to me, you listen to me. If you don't, you don't. God bless.
Right.
But I kind of know what I'm talking about. And sometimes it's easier in those environments to break someone down to where they're like, oh, okay, I can focus on this weakness that's happening. That's why they have maybe some of the more well-rounded fighters, or the fighting nerds have some pretty well-rounded guys, which to the next point I might make, one of those fighting nerds guys, I think, might hold the key to being Hamza because of their jiu-jitsu, because of their stand-up. You made mention earlier on Jerkis' stand-up, but I kind of think that he was doing a poor job there too, if I'm being honest. Because he was just running in and blasting and not understanding.
And he
had the fundamentals of range.
Yeah, he had the worst poker face. You knew which strike he was going to throw. I was like, all right, there's no like fake to throw the like. Okay,
it's and I'm ultimately being emotionally inflammatory because of the fighter's history and understanding how good he really is and how good he could have been in this fight. You guys were all ultimately disappointed by Dricus. I love watching him. I love what he's
we're
done.
coming from a place of love. So if they listen to this is not like, oh, we think Dricus is trash. None of us said that. If anything, we said we're kind of dumbfounded that such a great champion at 185 pounds didn't have a solution to something that seemed, and I don't want to say, I don't want to downgrade the championship fight. That's what I don't want to do.
Sure.
But like Professor T said, it's frustrating for people like yourselves who's like, it's not simple, but it is simple.
Yes.
If you just practiced it enough.
Dude, anybody at Team Rabadi that's earned a blue belt would have got out of that crucifix, in my opinion.
Oh my God, the crucifix! Jesus Christ!
I'm not joking. I'm talking like the women. They would have actually showed some techniques, even if they couldn't have gotten out of it, and you would have all been like, "Well, dang, she fought." Like, she did something with this. I saw her do some other weird thing. He tried nothing other than bridge the whole time. It was the most embarrassing thing I'd ever seen.
I've never seen a bridge.
Let me ask you technically then, Mr. Rabadi or Professor T.
Yeah.
Is there a way you could explain it to the people listening to us? Like, what are a couple of the simpler maybe attempts or technical moves that Dricus could have done while he was in the crucifix? I think 4 times he was on the crucifix for 4 of the rounds. So
14 minutes. It was.
Terrence, I'll let you explain it, but I mean,
yeah. So the one that I'll tell you guys that people use a lot, just being on bottom in general, is the pendulum, right? So just think that you're laying on your back and you just lift your feet up in the air and you're in like a L. And as you can imagine, you're like this, right? Well, with your feet up in the air, you start pendulum from side to side. It's going to force your upper body to rock. And at some point, you're going to be able to twist and turn one of those crucifixes out. And then now start working yourself to turtle. That's just one basic way of trying. And in that, even in gi, you can find a way to slip out, which is, right? Tell me, I mean, in gi, people hate gi because of the fact that there's a million and one other ways to keep you locked down. And even in a gi, that's one of the basic ways that you'll teach somebody pendulum and you'll get them to, especially if they're not sitting properly on that crucifix and maybe they're a little too low or a little too high, right? These are things that'll easily get you out. I mean, that's just one. That's just one basic.
I just took my goddamn arm in and rolled into it. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, right? Because that was the other weirdest thing I couldn't understand. He would never turn into him. Anybody in jiu-jitsu knows. What you don't want to do is turn away from it or run away. You are the one that wants to be close.
Yes.
When you're close, you are safe. When they are far away, you are in danger as they grab you.
The one thing I loved and I learned, and this was my favorite thing, was from Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira Minotauro, the heavyweight champion.
Yes.
He did a fantastic job as a heavyweight with his jiu-jitsu because he learned that if I become your crux of balance, that I now control you. There is a fight between him and Tim Sylvia, and Tim Sylvia is just beating the ever-loving hell out of him. And for whatever reason, Tim Sylvia knocks him down in like the 3rd or 4th round. And just like instinct, Nogueira does this thing where he goes into half guard, tucks himself in, gets under Tim Sylvia. He looks like he's at a complete disadvantage, like he's just trying to get away from the fight. But in reality, he's transitioning him over. And it's the easiest way to explain it in jiu-jitsu is everybody is a chair with 4 posts.
Yes.
Taking away the post, and you then become their chair. You can do whatever you want. No matter how big they are, no matter how strong they are, you will then take that balance over. And it's just a matter of going into someone versus away. It's like anything else in martial arts striking. The only way to win anything is to get closer.
It's not you would think. And that's, again, one of those basic things that you understand immediately if you're fighting somebody.
Yeah.
You know what you're dealing. That's part of knowing, right? Whether it's stance, right? There's certain clues, context clues. You understand that tells you what type of fighter you're dealing with. It's just, I don't know.
Now, again, for everybody who's listening to us right now on the Knockout Canvas, we appreciate you on all the platforms, X, Twitter, or whatever, everything, right? I need you guys to understand that these two martial artists are not trying to tell the average Joe coming off the couch who has never done repetitions of these moves that this is easy. That's not what they're saying. What they're trying to say is that a world champion level in Dricus du Plessis, who's had a great run, probably, 100%. I mean, you could argue one of the best runs we've seen, right?
In a long time.
Okay? And someone like him with the ability and maybe the money to be able to do more could have found a place that could have had him do more repetitions so that he could have been ready for something like this. Am I saying that right, Mr. Rabadi? Just so everybody understands.
1,000% correct. And
I
I'm
think
just
a lot
going to
of
say
time
it is super
hated.
easy. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's difficult. We're talking about literal 1% human beings.
Right.
But to some degree, it's hard to fathom how somebody can run a 4.340 but can't walk in a straight line.
Yeah.
And so that is to some degree the disappointment that I'm witnessing. But just that I'm just trying to break it down in the way that you said it, Coach. And so, yeah, not that it's easy, but to that level, you should understand it.
Yeah, no, the three of us having the conversation, I was right there with you. I just wanted to make sure that the audience understood.
Totally.
Hey, this isn't you from the couch who's never done any type of wrestling or jiu-jitsu.
This is not for an armbar.
This doesn't apply to you when they're saying the words, it's easy. You could have just been doing a pendulum. Like, first of all, if you're listening to this and you can't do 10 sit-ups, you probably can't do the pendulum move. But anyway, right? So again, that's not what they're saying. They're not taking down du Plessis. They're also not taking down Chimaev.
No.
They're explaining that if you're already at that 1% level, if you're already there, if you're already in the Super Bowl, then it probably was a good idea to throw it this way than that way.
Probably
so
should
how
learn
did
how
you
to
know that?
run block. You know what I mean? It's the question of like how many people go to the NBA today and can play a sustainably long career, but not be able to shoot the 3-pointer.
Right.
Not a lot of players nowadays, right? Like it's sort of to that level. And the truth is, my honest opinion again on Dricus is he's one of my favorites to watch. And I certainly think he has a good shot to be a champion again. I think Hamzat has quite a challenge ahead of him with some of the contenders. He is going up in weight. He went up in weight. He is naturally a 170 guy who.
So he's really a 170 guy, right? And he was having a problem.
Exactly. He was having a problem cutting weight a time or two. But the truth is, the talent is there. We all see it. Not that he can't fill out and learn to be a 185 guy. People do it in boxing all the time as they get older.
All the time.
All the time. It's very natural progression. But I'm overall slightly disappointed in the fight and how it fleshed out.
Okay. No, and that's fair. And you know what? I bring it all the way back to boxing for you, Professor T. I know you're working on your screen right now.
Yeah.
But you know how people would always get mad at you and me when we talk about how we're so amazed at how good Shakur Stevenson is, right? And some of his best fights are the ones that people call, or people who don't understand what you and I are looking at, They call it boring.
Right.
Why is it boring when Shakur's not getting hit? Well, we want to see an all-action brawl and blood and guts. Like, the point of boxing is to hit the person and not get hit. Shakur is doing it at a 100% level. Why are you mad? Because just because you're not entertained in understanding what's actually happening here doesn't make this person. And one of the things on a lot of the podcasts that I heard some of the hardcore say is they were a little upset at Shakur for kind of bending the knee to the crowd or to this narrative that he couldn't just stand there and make it more of a action type fight.
No, absolutely.
And on his last fight, we saw it. He went toe to toe at times with the guy. He made it more exciting, and he was praised for this. A sport, Mr. Rabadi, in where people died just a week and a half ago. There were two 28-year-olds that we talked about on the show in Japan. They fought a fight. They fought a regular match that if we were watching it, we would go, we didn't really see anything like so damaging in those on those matches that it seemed out of the ordinary. And yet they were both rushed to the hospital. They both had brain surgery, and both of them passed away. That was just a week and a half ago. Yeah. So to make someone like Shakur Stevenson all of a sudden feel bad for doing the very craft he's good at, that's why I understand your frustration, right? Especially because you know what you're looking at. On the same breath, that's why I also said it was actually quite impressive if you're not an expert at the jiu-jitsu part of things, to see someone be so mentally dominant over someone else, that as hard as they tried, right, it felt like Drickus was putting a square peg in a round hole for 25 minutes.
It was
right.
The counter argument I have isn't I've never watched Shakur Stevenson fight, but I guarantee you everything Shakur Stevenson does is in an effort of winning and dominating. The byproduct of that can be a knockout or a decision. Right. Most likely it's a decision, but everything he's doing is in a clear effort of winning. Now, I guarantee you if he went in there and won by jabbing, clinching, cross clinch, you might find that disappointing to watch. And
that's why a lot of people, just so that you know, this is the me and Professor T always defending Floyd Mayweather narrative, where they will say, "Oh well, you know why I don't like watching Floyd's because he just runs." When they don't really appreciate how magnificent he actually was.
It's not.
Right? They don't understand what they're watching. They don't understand what they're seeing. And I'll give you an example. Right, it was one of the biggest stages in the world. Canelo Alvarez. He's 23. He's fighting at 154, right? And here's Floyd Mayweather, who's already older, mid-30s at this point. And everybody was making it sound like Floyd didn't somehow put a masterclass on this kid.
Oh, he beat his ass. He taught him a lesson that day.
Oh, he put belt to ass, right? But the narrative to the general public who don't box or who don't understand how dangerous the sport could be, all just sat there and said, see, that's what I mean. All Floyd did was run. If he would have stood in front of Canelo, that'd have been different. Without them understanding the context that Floyd beat the hell out of someone when he did stand in front of them, and then he hurt his hand.
Yeah.
So if right? Like why would he do that when he's already, if you're up on the scorecards 10 rounds to 0, why am I exactly gonna, and that's kind of in a way how I felt in the last 2 rounds with Hamza, where he just kind of went to the crucifix again. I'm kind of like, well, why would he do something different?
Right. He was asking his corner
anything back to him, so
he was asking his corner in that fight. Okay, can I start to open up? Can I stand up?
Yes.
And his corner said, no, take him down. It's still the difference of we're watching a fight that's playing out that is in an effort to finish, and he's not doing that.
He's not doing it.
And really, the break glass of emergency that you mentioned earlier really only happened in the last 3 minutes of the fight, 2 minutes of the fight with Drickus.
Yes.
And that is, and he looked not bad, you know? And I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to take Hamzat to deeper waters, but the difference between the deep waters that Khamzat was going in with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman is that they were engaging in that fight.
Exactly.
Dricus was not. And by the way, most of my blame on the fight does come from Dricus, but Khamzat has a small part to play.
Right.
Khamzat dominated. I agree. He played it
safe. Dude, he played it safe.
Totally.
He didn't try any kind of submissions that made sense.
He didn't do what Khabib does, where he wants to kill you.
Oh, God.
Finish you. He's going to try.
Islam and Khabib tried to finish you.
Unconscious. He needs to hear you not breathe. That's Khabib. And the difference on this one was the exact opposite.
But even to be fair, though, with Khamzat's background, it isn't exactly like a Damian Maia, right? Because Damian Maia probably would have went for a finish.
Yes. Damian Maia also didn't have the same wrestling as Khamzat. Khamzat is a wrestler first, then everything else second.
Correct.
Damian Maia is a jiu-jitsu guy first.
Then
everything else was by far and away second.
Wait.
But to your example, that's just we're talking about like two different styles, right? And so he should have. It's not like he didn't have the opportunity to like try to choke him out or lay some more punches on him. Dricus was barely bruised. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate about that.
It didn't make any sense. I mean, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand either camp's strategy. None of it made sense to me. None of it. If you wanted to lose fans, right, and create one of the worst of all time main events.
Now I'm really splitting hairs here when I say things like this, but I just want to throw it out there, right?
Yeah.
To the common fan, for example, right? You guys don't believe that maybe because Khamzat respected Dricus so much that he didn't want to take a chance? You know, kind of like when a boxer's way ahead and he's like, well, I know this person's got power.
Dude, I'm guilty of stalling in the tournaments because it's not the final match. You're not going to get me. I'm not going to sit over here and lie. You know what I mean? Exactly.
100. I think Khamzat in his corner, unlike Dricus in his corner, understood what they were walking into the line.
Yes, and they know if he struck with him, he was going to get knocked out. See, that's the difference. And they didn't lie to him and say, yeah, go out there and try to strike. No. Totally. They said, no, take him down. We see it. You want to fight him and you want to show you can do it, but we don't think you can do it either. And we don't even want to go there. Just take him down.
Totally, yeah, I agree with you.
Take him down. We'll let you work on your striking on the next dude, not this dude. Like, seriously,
and it's interesting because when I hear you guys, and this is so fun, when I hear you guys sound like the hardcore boxing fans that are super hard on Shakur for not finishing his opponents when he's already 10 rounds ahead, right?
To an extent. The difference, though, in boxing is that it's the obvious. If you really understand the sport, especially guys of that size, again, you understand the Pretty Boy Floyd transition to Money Mayweather. It's not just Pretty Boy Floyd that had those hand problems. A lot of guys that size have hand problems. Think about it. You are punching to break somebody's face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
It's a tough ask on your hands. Your hands aren't meant to do that for 10 rounds.
Meant to do that at all. So the harsh reality is, hey, man, I mean, those hands matter. And if you do too much, if you're a workaholic like Floyd, you're running into hand problems. And then when you have the ability and skill, right, to now not have to worry about your hand problems and just beat people up for 12 rounds anyways. Yeah, I mean, I don't, right? We all saw the book.
Yeah.
You can go read it for yourself. It's an amazing book, in my opinion. I mean, he's definitely one of my all-time favorites. I don't care how you
Of course. No, of course. How can you not? That's why we love Shakur. That's why we love Purnell. That's why we love. I mean, again, when you're going down to history books, and it's such a storied history, and much greater than MMA's, obviously, right? I mean, because even if we take MMA all the way to the Pride days, it still doesn't have the historical references of how far boxing goes back, right? And that's not an insult to MMA. None of us are doing that. We're just telling the truth about it.
It's actually quite the opposite. I think MMA fans should appreciate.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
They don't get it because
I think some of where MMA is hindered today is by not looking at boxing a little bit harder. But that's
I know. I lived it. I was one of the people that brought it over. So I was one of the people that started bridging the gap for it and getting them to understand. If you just treat them nicely, they will actually let you in the gym and not make fun of you about how horrible your striking might become. So having said this, I can't let you leave, Mr. Rabadi, without telling me your opinion on Ilia Topuria, because I've been telling everybody that this is the best boxing MMA transition fighter I have seen in the last 3 years, and I don't think he's going to get worse. I think the only thing that'll beat him is age. But in terms of competition around him and who could really challenge him at this point, I was kind of like, damn, man. And again, I'm strictly more paying attention to how he transitions it, how he uses a kick to set up the hands, or how he'll use his hands to set up, like a position where he knows I'm not going to get taken down here, or I do know when to turn my hip, right? Or I do know where my balance point is. And in actually understanding that, I admire him. Because I know how hard it is. I know he's not like, chilling in Spain, eating a bunch of jamon. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's working out all the time. Because you can't be that if you're not repeating it over and over and over again. So the way he sparks Oliveira, I thought was impressive. I thought it was really impressive that he was able to get out of the foot block. And I understand some people will say, well, it wasn't really there. It's still Charles Oliveira. It could have been there. It could have been there if he didn't make certain moves that he made, right? But even prior to that, what he did to Volkanovski, right? I mean, this guy is just in Max Holloway, right? Like what else does he need to prove to everybody at this point? I wish he would have had a chance to fight Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is retired since, but that would have been fun. White House, if you guys want to do a big one, McGregor Topuria for me. Hey, you put McGregor Topuria in there, I'll let Topuria go all the way to 170, and I'll tell you he'll beat the crap out of Conor McGregor. Yeah,
anybody who believes that Conor McGregor has something to offer on that level,
it's over.
You are delusional. I would just go and he knows it. He knows it, and
been living on 4,000 thread count cheats.
Why does he need to fight again? Really, he doesn't need to. To answer your question, the only guy I could maybe think of that has some say in really good boxing and MMA is Jack Della Maddalena. His boxing beat a pure wrestler in Bilal Muhammad, but to the credentials of Ilia Topuria, he is not nearly as explosive, as dominant. He does this thing where I call it building the cake, where you're setting up, and then just torching them. And he just does it so well. And then there's no way I could disagree with you, right? And maybe somebody would say Alex Pereira, but Alex Pereira, and I'm sorry to say this, has some of the worst. Like, I would never teach what Alex Pereira does to anybody, in the sense of like his hands are down. Right. Some things he does can be countered, and it was against somebody who doesn't have the superior stand-up that he has in Magomed Ankalaev. That's why he lost the title fight. Right. I think Ilia Topuria
he's going to get a chance to get it back now, though. So
he is, and I don't know how much different it's going to fare.
That fight is probably.
He says he came in with an injury, but I just still don't know. There's always a puncher's chance, right? And I won't discredit it in that way. And I'll be rooting for him. I really will be. I love watching Pereira. To Ilya Taporia, no, man. He's
a monster.
marking guys that everybody in their mind, which is like one of the most dense divisions at 155, is like some of the best strikers, some of the best wrestlers, and he is torching them. Not just Oliveira, but he did it to Holloway. He did it to Volkanovski. He put a show on Josh Emmett. Yes. He put a show on him. Even the one time that he got hurt against Herbert, he got head kicked and then came back and blasted this man. He did not know what world he was on. Ilya Taporia is that guy that Dana should promote as this is my Conor McGregor.
Right.
Now, there is some argument to be said that he's avoiding Arman Tsarukyan. I think that fight would be a wonderful fight to watch. I think Arman would try to take him down as fast as possible, just like Islam would, right? It's just the way it is. But I think Ilya Taporia has it in him to be a long time champion. Hopefully I don't eat my words, but I totally agree with you. Some of the best boxing.
Yeah, no, I mean it's hard to say, right? And Professor T, I hope we haven't alienated all the people that are normally chatting with us through X and TikTok, and everybody else. Yeah, shout out to all of you guys. It's just Professor T is into the conversation so deeply that
normally I would be shouting everybody out. I have not. There is a long list. I lost it kind of, but
I've been to fights with Professor T, and once he gets in the zone on fighting, my God, it's hard to get him out. So
right. No, he's really into it. So now that Zuffa boxing is the thing. And again, the grand opening of boxing back to mainstream America is September 13th, Canelo Crawford, which we're all very excited about. Dana White's promoting the event. And then Dana White has already told us that there's a whole thing that's going to happen in 2026. Obviously, he did the CBS $7.7 billion deal with Paramount Plus. And then he's already talked about a series called Underdog that will kind of feel like the Contender series or like the Ultimate Fighter. And then I believe he's planning on doing sort of like a Contender series to figure out who he wants to sign into the Zuffa boxing label. And then he's also going to be doing only 8 weight classes, he said, 8 or 10. He's not going to do every single weight class. So he's going to do it very much like the UFC. So I say all this and where I'm going to bring Ilya Taporia up is we saw the success of McGregor Mayweather. And Ilya has been saying, give me the winner, Canelo Crawford.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can do it. Now Dana has already said he will not do that. He said, if you're in the UFC, if you're playing football, you need to stay in football. If you're playing baseball, you need to stay in baseball. We're not going to have no Bo Jacksons in my league, right? That's what he said. That's what he says. But we also know that McGregor Mayweather made a lot of money for a lot of people. And let's say Terrence Crawford, right, were to beat Canelo, right? This is a 50-50s you're gonna get. Believe me, if me and Professor T starts talking about this, and by the way, Professor T, you would have been proud of me. The last 3 days I've been defending the hell out of Crawford. I've been defending the hell out of him, and I've been shaming everybody who keeps thinking he's not this amazing fighter. I'm like, what have you all been watching, man? This guy's amazing. Okay. Does he have every chance to beat Canelo? 100%. Why do you think it's a 50-50 fight? For crying out loud, stop hating on this kid.
Can't make money on this fight, bro.
Right.
Can't make money on the fight.
So anyway, but normally, Mr. Rabadi, me and Professor T I try, like I said, I can't just have it be where him and I are agreeing. So he's rocking with Canelo so hard. With Crawford so hard that I have to sort of kind of pick Canelo and make arguments for Canelo just so that the show will be interesting enough for everybody to listen.
Fight. I just saw Canelo as the favorite in this fight.
Right.
It's
50-50 actually right now, just so that you know. They're both minus money.
Okay.
It's wild, bro, and it shouldn't be that way, to be honest. It shouldn't be that way.
Okay, this is a couple days ago that I see Canelo as just a favorite.
Was it on DraftKings? Was it DraftKings, maybe?
Yeah.
Odds Shark.
Odd Shark. What's it say right now?
180 for Canelo and plus 145 for Terrence.
Okay. That's a little better.
Yeah,
I saw the last.
That's a little better. That's not great though.
It's not money. You still collecting 500 on the grand. That's not.
I would say to just a point that you made earlier, would potentially Ilia Topuria cross over to boxing? If you said it right now, the answer is no. Ilia Topuria, while skillfully, is actually, in my opinion, better than Conor in Conor's prime.
Right.
Popularity-wise, he's not there.
Right.
And that's the
fair.
difference.
That's fair.
Even
that's
to Francis Ngannou is way more popular than an Ilia Topuria, and was able to make that crossover and made a lot of money from what I understood.
Oh no, he's making heavyweight money. That guy's rich.
Another thing that I love about boxing is that boxers make money.
Yeah,
boxing is rich, and that's some generational wealth that I can appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah. No, the Usyk, who we told you is 38, and Daniel Dubois, who was his last opponent in July, who's only 27. Daniel Dubois got 70 million. And
Dubois got 70 million?
Yes. Dubois got 70 million. That was already posted as his guaranteed money prior to the fight. Alexander Usyk made 170 million.
I'll get knocked the F out by Usyk right now. Half of that.
Hey, you're right by half. 10%.
Half.
10%.
I won't be the B side. I'll be the C and D side.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Rabadi, as we continue, this is just episode 6, but as we continue on this show, we're trying to also educate everyone now that there is no more A and B side. There's only Riyadh season.
Yeah.
So I keep hearing about this Riyadh season, and I sort of don't really understand
Riyadh season has been happening for 2 years, and basically Riyadh season is a common language now for all boxers to understand that you can fight, sure, and you can make whatever purse you're going to make, but if you ever want to make Super Bowl money,
right,
you have to get invited to Riyadh.
Right.
They have to, and the first thing you have to do is be a part of a Riyadh season card. Now, there are Riyadh season sponsored card all over America, all over Australia, all over every part of the world. But once you've fought on these Riyadh season cards, or you've been introduced to a Riyadh season card, then you might get invited to Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And if you get invited to Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, what you might have made, let's say in the U.S., it's probably 10 to 30 times more money. It just the conversion and their taxes and the way they hand it to you. They're probably handing it to you in like a suitcase, you know. I mean, it's just different. It's just the premium is very, very different when you get to fight there. But again, not a lot of people get to fight there. And in fact, this is to my point on a lot of our beginning episodes, where I believe someone like you, Mr. Rabadi, who would love to be involved in weekly boxing so that you know what's happening, kind of like NFL. The problem is the American media is not even telling you about it. So I'll give you a classic example.
What happened there with the NFL? The American
I'll give you a classic example first of all, right? Just this year alone, I counted it the other day because I was doing it on another show. I was doing it on Claymore Rain show, and I was doing it on Marco Boxing. Me and Marco were kind of doing this. Marco Boxing is someone that Professor T likes. Yeah. So shout out to Marco. I think you'd love Claymore Rain, actually. But I don't know if you get up early enough to be on the show or you'd be free. So because you're busy with tech and stuff. So, but this is a classic example of you being an American, Mr. Rabadi, and not knowing about this event. So on November 22nd, I think the date, either 22nd or 27th. But anyways, it's in November in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. You will have 6 American fighters fighting in that card. 5 of the American fighters are fighting for world championships. And right now, if I asked you the question, hey, Mr. Rabadi, can you name me 2 of the Americans that are fighting on the I just want to know, because there's 6 of them, so I figured you might know 2 of them. Do you know? You don't know one of them. I don't know one of them. And that's sad. And this goes to your question. So I'll tell you who they are, and you'll probably recognize some of the names. David Benavidez, who's currently pound for pound number 10.
Yep.
He is defending. Yeah, he's defending the WBC title versus Anthony Yard. And Anthony Yard was the guy who gave a hell of a fight and knocked down Beterbiev, who is Professor T's favorite 175er.
Right.
Shout out to Iceman, John Scully.
Yes.
So he's I don't even want to call them main events now because it doesn't even work that way anymore, right, Professor T? It's like, here's just a whole bunch of awesome fights. You guys pick who you think is the main event. Because we can't even really say it's a main event. Like, there's just good fights. Like, he just gives them all to you. So this is what Turkey Al Sheikh and Saudi does. Another fight that's on there that everybody's super excited about in the United States is between an American who used to be on the pound for pound list by the name of Devin Haney, moving up to his third weight class of 147 pounds to challenge the current WBO 147 pound champion, a kid from Texas by the name of Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr., who's probably one of the hardest punchers we've seen at 147 in quite a while. He is a knockout artist. The last guy he knocked out, and this is a real thing, this is not me exaggerating.
Right.
He knocked out the number 2 challenger so badly in Japan that the number 2 challenger forgot 6 weeks of his life up to that knockout.
Oh my God, that was that guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard this story.
Yes. Yeah, it really happened. It really happened. And if you watched it, if you see it, you can type it in. Brian Norman Jr.
I'm not about to type
Sasaki. and when you see it, you'll be. And here's the crazy thing: he's currently our youngest champion, our youngest American champion. He's only 24 years old.
Right.
Oh, actually, I mean, I hate it when I do this because then I get corrected. Recently, Professor T, the last top-ranked card at the end of July, Xander Zayas did win, and he's only 22. So technically speaking, because he's Puerto Rican American, he would be technically the youngest American.
Right.
All right. So I apologize to everyone watching if I misspoke, but you guys know what I mean. Brian Norman up to that point was the youngest, only 24 years old. He's already defending his title against a former pound-for-pound fighter, right? A former undisputed champion, right? In Devin Haney, and everybody's extremely interested in that, right? That's another fight.
Haney's got
another one. Oh, go ahead, Professor T.
No, I was just gonna say Haney's got something to prove there. It's a fight. It's a good fight. He has
a very good fight.
Yeah,
very good fight. I highly suggest all of you that if you see that betting line go over plus 300 in either direction, bet the underdog. Because we really don't know who's going to win that fight.
Correct.
If everybody starts spinning this narrative that Brian Norman Jr. is going to easily knock out Haney, and it ends up being plus 600 or plus 800, you bet heavy on Haney. You bet heavy on Haney, right? Because it really is, to us who are analyzing it, it's 50-50. It's a 50-50 fight. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, So anyways, that's happening. So I just told you 2 fights that everybody's very excited about. Let me bring up another one. So this kid was just watched by Jerry Jones and all of the Dallas Cowboys, your team, Mr. Rabadi, and yet shame on you that you don't know this amazing Mexican-American 25-year-old who is currently pound for pound number 5 in the world, who is honestly the Mexican-American Manny Pacquiao that we are watching in front of our eyes. He's already won the flyweight title. He's currently the unified super flyweight champion. He's about to get another belt, and then he's going to move up. And I think, and it's hard, Professor T, because I love Pacquiao. It's very difficult to say that anyone can ever match 8 world titles in 8 weight divisions. But if there was one guy that I was going to put money on to do it, it would be Jesse Bam Rodriguez. And Jesse Bam Rodriguez is fighting a unification fight against Puma Martinez, who is the WBA 115-pound champion. When you watch Jesse Bam Rodriguez highlights, it will remind you of a little bit of Lomachenko, a little bit of Pacquiao. That's probably the best two combinations I can give you, because he's a lefty, he's crafty, like so many great things I can say about Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Impeccable.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He can pivot on
footwork. Yeah, he's amazing, right? So now here's what's crazy, Mr. Rabadi. I just named you 3 fights that probably 3 years ago would have been one fight each, or never even really fighting each other, and the best isn't fighting the best, and it would have been overpriced. These are all for free. Every single one of these fights I just said are all for free in the same card.
Like DAZN, or is it?
You do have to have the DAZN subscription, but it's about to be $10 because usually the sale happens. That's how you should get DAZN. You wait for it to get to when they start doing the fall sale, and then it's only $9.99 a month. So you shouldn't want to pay full price for it. I mean, that's silly. You should get the sale. So, and then you pay that for the year, and then you re-up it again at the same price the following year. So, anyways, that's a third fight, right? Unification, 147 championship, Benavidez, right? Another one. Why am I? Man, I can't believe I'm blanking on this because I know it's 6. That's only 3. Hold on, I can't believe I'm blanking out. One of them is Beterbiev. He's coming back. Your guy's coming back. Turf. He's fight number 1. Actually, he's the first one. Beterbiev is fighting Dean Nicholson from America. Right. That's Beterbiev's comeback. And then can't believe I blanked out on that. Apologies. Give me 1 second, and I will give it to you.
Yeah,
while you're watching those highlights and Professor T's looking.
We're about to start.
I appreciate real quickly the comment on Sam Tonka. Minotauro is sneaky, good boxer as well. He trained with the Cuban Olympic boxing team.
Yeah,
and, I loved watching his boxing. It was just like technically so beautiful to see, because he was like slow and unathletic, but could do everything technically correct. It was wonderful to watch. Sorry.
No, all good, bro. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got to get up in the morning. I don't know about you, Nibs. Yeah, it's
I have I'm getting myself ready for Riyadh season myself. I have an Arabic private lesson. So yeah, I just came back from Jordan about a month ago.
Wow!
Wow! And just trying to relearn my my language. Yeah, and so I have that in the morning. Actually, believe it or not, 8 in the morning is my private lesson. I'm gonna get yelled at by my instructor.
Right?
No, she's a super nice lady. But yeah, it's. And also the hookah's almost done, boys.
Yeah, I know,
right? I do want to say, man, it's a pleasure being on here and talking to you guys. I love this. Every time, you don't know how heartbreaking it is for me to get a text from you that's like, you available tonight? And I'm like, I'm somehow not in Texas. Just like every time, like this is like, it's a miracle. Just a quick point to, I did want to mention this. I'm going to Tokyo at the end of the year, and I'm found to training at other gyms. There's a gym I watch on Instagram. They're called S Gym Unio in Tokyo, and they're like a Muay Thai gym.
Yeah.
Reached out to them yesterday, and I was like, hey, I'm coming to Tokyo. Is there any way I can drop by and train? I love watching you guys. I'll send you guys the Instagram page, but they're just really fun to watch.
Yeah,
I've learned different techniques to this day still from just watching them. And I'm like,
send me that link, dude. Send me that.
Yeah. And so there was one that they did where it's like, instead of like, you get a check hook or you get a hook and you throw a check hook back, it's block the hook and return with a lead kick. So it's a check kick back to the head. Wow. I was like, that's
cool.
I never thought of that. I'll send it. Like, this is actually just beautiful to watch. And so I'm going to try to train with them. They said, hey, just come on by. Here's the fee.
that's
15,000 yen, which is like $100.
Right.
So that's exciting stuff. If anybody ever gets a chance to train somewhere else, somewhere around the world, always try to do so.
When you go,
he was like, yeah, check it out. I'm like,
when you go to Japan, how long do you get to stay?
this would be my third time going to Japan, and I do about 2 weeks. I do.
Okay, what was the time period that you're gonna go?
December 8th to the 23rd is where I have it, or 21st.
8th. Oh, so you're gonna be there from the 8th of December to 23rd of December?
Yeah, or 21st, something like that.
Okay, I would try to, if you can, go find the gyms that Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue are training at. They're usually pretty nice. I don't know if usually they're cool, but in December they're going to get ready for Japan in Riyadh season. They're going to do Japan versus the world. And Naoya Inoue is pound for pound number 2. Junto Nakatani is pound for pound number 6.
Right.
And it would be kind of cool for you to get a chance to actually, even if they let you in, to watch him, hit the bag or something, right? Just so you can see it. You can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, because he is the next. He is it. I mean,
yeah,
he's it right now.
Yeah. I got him pulled up.
Yeah, Junto Nakatani, Naoya Inoue.
Real deal.
Yeah, but the Japan has 9 world champions. So if you even get a chance to watch a club show there for boxing, watch how extremely disciplined and proper everyone is. But these guys are like literally just like killing each other. It's a different level of boxing. It's where you like, oh my God. Somebody's got to regulate some of these things. If they're hitting each other this hard all the time, maybe it's kind of like pads in football. Like, maybe we shouldn't do it that much, kind of thing, right? But yeah, no, you would have a blast, absolute blast on top of your Muay Thai journey there.
I see Naoya Inoue's gym. It's in Yokohama, which I think might be a day's trip there, but that'd be
how about Junto Nakatani? Should be closer to Tokyo because Junto Nakatani's trainer is American. He's Mexican American.
It says LA Boxing Gym.
That's because he's in LA right now. That's where he's training. No, he has a train. Okay, yeah, he's in LA right now. Then that's where he's going to be training. But again, if you get a chance to check out any of the gyms there's plenty of world champions. If you look up the 9 world champions right now that they have. And it's amazing to watch them train. It's very it's like if you can put karate and samurai mentality into boxing, that's kind of what it feels like, what it looks like.
Culture, in my opinion, has a lot to do with boxing, and it shows. You can see it in different styles, weirdly enough. And I've always found that Japanese fighters, martial arts, or boxing, in anything, they're very meticulous to the black and white word of the technique, and that is sort of how they approach their training, how they approach their art, and it's always very beautiful to watch. Although there's not a ton of champions in mixed martial arts, it's still wonderful to watch. They are very much heart champion or heart fighters, like they fight with all their heart, versus like Mexican boxers, blood and guts. How I find most of them, and yeah, man. I won't go. This is gonna be a whole nother thing. I can.
I know. Okay, wait.
We'll save it for the next episode.
We'll save it for the next episode. What I will tell you, since of your kickboxing and Muay Thai background, is that 2 of the current Japanese world champions converted from kickboxing to become world champions in boxing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those guys you'd rock with them. They're pretty cool. I'll send you who they are. I think I followed you on Instagram, so if you follow me back, we'll start messaging each other and stuff.
I followed you back in the middle of the show. I'm so sorry I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all right. That's all right.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Professor T. Do your is there something you're gonna say, or?
We closing out, man. It's 12:10 for me.
So, Mr. Rabadi, is there anything that you can that we can promote for you that you're doing that people should know about?
No, man. I don't. I used to have my own podcast, and I've done several podcasts in the past, but I just stopped doing it. It's really shows like this that I love doing, where I get to come in, I could talk about the things that I love talking about on a podcast, and just kind of share knowledge and just like be here to enjoy the time, which is something I'm so grateful for. Like this is awesome. Just out of nowhere, which by the way, I've never met you. This is the first we met 5 minutes before the show started.
Yeah,
it was a very natural conversation.
And that was a Raiders show. That wasn't even a fight show.
Like, it wasn't. No, I mean, we sort of talked there, and I just genuinely appreciate the dialogue and the mind share. It's wonderful, and honestly, I'm just super proud of what you've built, Terrence, and what you're trying to do, dude. This is awesome, and I'm genuinely honored to be on this show. I don't mean to blow smoke.
No, that's unintended.
I'm genuinely honored, and thank you.
Well, whenever you're in town, it's always an open invite to you, and the knowledge that you bring to the show is always very, very well respected, and we love sharing thoughts and ideas. And believe me, man, combat sports globally is weekly. I try to explain this to Professor T all the time, that as much as I love my Raiders and football, man, in all honesty, I can only rock with them for 18 weeks most of the time, because we haven't made a playoff in a bit. But
I mean, if you count the offseason, there's so much more time to rock with them. That's where I love it.
Yes.
What I was
saying is I could only talk about my frustration on the Raiders for so long, man. Like I can't keep saying the same thing over and over again. I can't keep breaking down the missed opportunities of drafting the right players.
I'll find you wrinkles for you. Don't worry. I'll be there for you.
Right. The great thing is that with combat sports, it's new every week. It's literally new every week, and we have so many things to talk about. So again, open invite to you always. I know you're traveling a lot. When you are in Texas, where can people come and maybe train with you or see you? Or
Team Rabadi, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. We're located in Pflugerville and in Georgetown. A lot of newbies will not ever be in my class because I handle the sparring class. I run it with an iron fist. No, it's not that.
Cannot spar until you are prepared.
I tell you, you're going to be a couple of years in, unless you're a well-trusted martial artist from somewhere outside, totally. But I do help coach Muay Thai Tuesdays, Thursdays, unless Terrence calls me on to jump on the podcast. That's why I'm an assistant, not a main coach for Muay Thai at Georgetown.
Yeah.
But it's something I love doing. I love sharing what I've learned throughout the years and trying to help people who are just starting out understand this very big concept of Muay Thai and just digesting it a little bit at a time and just seeing them get better inch by inch, which is really, really what it's all about.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And Professor T, when's the next, what are you doing? Tomorrow? What's going on?
Tomorrow we got Dead in the Water, man. So absolutely, there will be more talk on combat sports. It will be boxing, MMA, the whole nine. We'll be talking a lot of football. In fact, there's probably a game on or something.
There is. There's 2 games on tomorrow.
So you can't escape it, right? But yeah, man, I mean, hopefully we'll get another good watch party this weekend. So take a peek on what's out there, what's going on. I mean, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed commentating that UFC card, man. So
yeah, you were having a blast, man. And it was funny to see your reaction to it, because you're like, "Oh my god,
I got it." Yeah, so we're gonna find some boxing matches, but I'm definitely, man. Well, this week, just I'm sure Mr. Rabadi already knows this, but it's UFC Shanghai. Just so that you know. UFC
every week.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, every week.
It's Johnny Walker against Zhang Ming.
Yes.
I am interested in the co-main Aljamain Sterling and Brian.
I love it.
Of course.
What an interesting matchup. Sergey Pavlovich, I hope gets. I still have a lot of faith in Sergey Pavlovich as a heavyweight, so hopefully he gets it back on track. So that'll be a fun one.
Yeah. So
it's a great card. Yeah. Great card. So you might do that then, just so that you know. That's at I don't know if you will or not, Professor T, because you're not this guy, but it starts on Saturday because it's Shanghai time.
Yep.
It starts at midnight. Friday going into Saturday, it starts at midnight.
Oh,
and then you got to ride the whole, I don't know, 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, that's a tough one. We'll have to think about
that. Right. So that's and then now that we're locked in on Instagram, Mr. Rabadi, I'll tune you into all the different boxing stuff that you've missed.
And he is going to tune you in. You are going to get a fire hose. I'm just warning.
You're gonna have to catch up. When I usually catch people up, I'm like, "Where are you at now?" I don't know, man. I'm in March. I'm like, bro, you got to catch up.
I'm in March of 1998. Well, awesome stuff, man.
All right, gentlemen. Hey, this was awesome. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. See you next week. See you this weekend. See you whenever you can catch up with us. But until the next time, peace. We out, man.
Well,
y'all have a good
Thank
night.
you, guys.
Peace.